Spoilers for Eternal Masters start on Monday, and we couldn't be more excited. Before the elation and coinciding moaning that follows every spoiler season that starts, we'll run down our 5 predictions for Eternal Masters. We're going with the methodology that Wizards is taking this opportunity to print cards in a set that might be harder to reprint in future products. And while we're mindful that some expensive cards that need a reprint are like the candidates to be in this set, cough, Jace the Mind Sculptor, a lot of other prediction videos on YouTube are using the current monetary crisis of certain cards to determine what goes onto their list. So we're trying to take that different angle and forgo on what the current prices of certain cards are. So again, you won't see a Jace the Mind Sculptor. You won't see a Show and Tell, even though we would love to have both of those cards. You won't see a Mana Drain either. That's a completely different reason. I feel that it just being a Judge promo might kind of feel like a shaft to the judges, even more so than what's already happened this year. And then also, on top of that, the fact that we already have Force of Will, I'd be flabbergasted if we actually saw Mana Drain and Force of Will in the same set. But hey, I wouldn't complain. Alright, so let's jump into it. At number 5, we have Back to Basics. I can't imagine seeing this card reprinted in a standard legal expansion, and because of that, we'll never see it in a Modern Master set. I also doubt this card mistakenly wanders into a Commander product. Why? Well, Commander products are great for us established players, but Wizards also uses Commander precons to get new players into Commander. So this isn't a fun card to play against, and newer players generally run little amounts of removal, and so having a card like this in play for a whole game is likely to turn off many new players that jump in Commander, and Eternal Masters is a great place to reprint this card, which ceased play in Legacy. At number 4, we have Deathrite Shaman. If he doesn't get unbanned in Modern, then we'll never see the skull floating dude in Modern Masters. And while it is possible that he could eventually see it printing in a Commander product, a set geared towards Eternal formats seems like a place for this guy to be printed, since he sees play in both Legacy and in Vintage. We have Winter Orb, and he's at number 3. Much for the same reasons why Back to Basics won't see a printing elsewhere, the reasoning to not reprint Winter Orb in other products is increased tenfold. It's not a fun card to play against, but some strategies do hinge on it. It's a card that can still easily be found out in the wild if you're looking for one, but we still feel like Winter Orb will see a reprint in Eternal Masters. At number 2 is Gamble. This is only really played in one deck in Legacy, and it's a bit of a color pie break, being a tutor in red, and you're tutoring for pretty much any card, but with a downside. We just don't feel like Wizards would reprint this in another product, simply being that it's called a color pie break. And yes, while we have gotten cards like Chaos, Chaos Warp in Commander products, it just seems like this isn't something that would fly. At number 1 is Mana Vault. While the argument can be made that it could eventually see a printing in a Commander product, we don't agree. It's a more complicated card for newer players to kind of grasp and understand how well it works, and it's currently a bit too expensive to be included in a $30 pre-constructed product. And yes, while it is banned in Legacy, it can and does see play in Vintage and in Commander. And while we kind of steered away from the whole price point debate, it is important to note that it is, depending on the edition, it is roughly a $100 card with not that many copies. Plus, it got some sweet new art in Vintage Masters last summer, so why not use that in a cardboard variety or a cardboard product and get us some new shiny Mana Vaults. So there you have it. While we omitted some big boys like Jace the Mind Sculptor, Show and Tell, Sneak Attack, and a whole plethora of other cards that people seem to have a slam dunk as inclusion on the list, we wanted this list to be more about finding harder stuff to reprint than a fit all the monies into packs. So let us know if you agree with our list, and also if you think we're completely out to lunch, we want to hear it too, and give us your predictions on what you think will be in Eternal Masters.